What's up, team honeys? It's KingBritneyChanel and I'm back with another video. So I'm gonna give y'all all the updates on As is working with Whooo, and Steve chimes in and gives his comments on the whole situation. Gayle, honey, wishes As a best recovery. We're gonna get into all of that, but before we do, definitely make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's get into my commentary. Don't miss out on my latest videos, honeys. Hit that notification bell and turn on notifications for all of my videos. You do this by going in your post notification settings. Now I'm not gonna give no disclaimer. I'm gonna proclaim before I get into this message, okay? I'm very appreciative of people who come and ask me why I call myself, well, not even why my name is King, because I'm not even gonna say call myself. Why my name is KingBritneyChanel, okay? Some of you, I really appreciate you. Like, you don't assume, you don't try to, put your ideology of calling women queens on me. And some of you who are well-studied, you know why, because I've explained this before. So for the new people on the channel that have been respectful and that want to know, I am referring to my heritage, okay? I'm referring to family line, all kind of stuff when I say king, okay, on the front of my name, because I'm speaking of a nation of kings. That a king, it comes from the word kin, and it means a descendant and ruler of a divine race, okay? It is also one of noble birth, okay? The Most High, Yahweh, is the King of Kings. He is the Lord of Lords. He is the Most High God, which means that if you are a child of Yahweh, if you are a native of that nation, an heir to the inheritance, the promises of Yahweh, you are a king. He does not mention queen in those scriptures, okay? And you are not to add or subtract. It also talks about, let me get not be country. It also talks about sonship in the word, okay? And basically there's several scriptures. I've put them up in videos before. And it talks about, God chastens those that he loves. And it talks about, you're basically, if you're not being chastened, whose son are you, basically? So it's not referring to gender because it's a title and it's an office. It has nothing to do with the worldly or earthly way of viewing things. And also, I don't go by queen, because the old English definition for queen is, number one, speaking about a male. Number two, it's also basically calling a woman, basically Julia Roberts, Pretty Woman. So I equate somebody calling me queen with somebody calling me the B word. So I just feel like it has to be some respect for other people's culture. And we have to come to an understanding that everybody is not from our same culture. Some people are okay with certain things and some people are not. It's a respect factor. You get what I'm saying? Like, I can't meet somebody and assume, like a lot of people assume that a lot of people like going by BLK. I don't identify as a BLK person. I'm not into that. I don't subscribe to ideologies that everybody else subscribes to. Now, you get what I'm saying? And it's okay if that's what you subscribe to. You can't just project that on me, though, because as for me and my house, I'm going to serve Yahweh, okay? And on this page, this channel, this is dedicated to him. So you have to do your own thing on your own page. You get what I'm saying? I live according to the principles and the word of the Most High God. That's just how I was raised. That's what my mother and my dad raised me up to be. And that's the life that I'm choosing. Everybody is entitled to make, their free choices and decisions, and you have that right, but you cannot come trying to project certain things on other people. Now, on to me talking about, people talking about, oh, well, I don't understand, and you talking, riddles and all this other stuff. Let me say this. Yeshua talked in parables in the word, right? In a parable, his parable, he often communicated in parables to in his messages. Basically, it's like an earthly story with a heavenly meaning. So basically, it's scriptures in the Bible when the disciples asked Yeshua why he spoke in parables, and you can find that out in Matthew 13:10, okay? So if you have to study to show yourself approved, there's reasons why I do certain stuff. If I was to get deep and explain certain things to a person that may not be ready for that, then they may, be misguided, led astray in thinking that, or taking something that I said out of context and not really understanding what I'm talking about. So we are to be fishers of men, and, you have to crawl before you walk. You can't, run before you learn how to crawl or walk. You have to, everybody is on a certain level. Some people may not be at the stage where they're able to, cut up their food and, use certain skills. You get what I'm saying? Some people may be at the stage where they're only able to use, maybe one fork or whatever. So life is like a journey. And the reason that I'm saying that is because you have to teach people stuff in stages. There's some people that they went through their whole life and they don't know certain things. Because what does the word say? His people perish due to the lack of knowledge. People do not study. It's like they learn a tradition of man and they continue to just do that for the rest of life. They never go look into anything, and that's just how they was raised, basically, or that's just something that they chose to do. So now that I've got that out the way, let's talk about, today's topic, which we're going to be talking about Azri. And, I feel like her name is very fitting. Y'all know what her name is. I call her Az for short on this channel. But literally her name means God's help, okay? And I believe that it's a reason why all of this is transpiring. And I believe that her name, is very fitting, because I feel like the Most High God is going to help her. And I feel like there will be restoration in this whole situation. We're going to talk about how Gayle, let's talk about Gayle first, and how Gayle wishes that she gets better. So basically it says, Gayle on K's ex, Az, was lying to me, you say? Get better, sweetheart. That's what Gayle wished for Az, okay? It says, Gayle doesn't seem surprised, and this is on TMZ for those of you who want to know where this article is, and it was posted on the 2nd, okay? It says, Gayle doesn't seem surprised in the least that K's ex-girlfriend is now confessing she lied to, her on the show, basically. And she wishes her well in recovery. And I'm glad that somebody from the industry is actually saying that she wishes her well in recovery, and she wishes for her. It's kind of like saying, because what I seen her say last time on CBS is that, Az is young and she doesn't feel like she understands the magnitude or grasp how, big this situation really is. A lot of people are seeing this as a play for celebrity and a money grab, but this is somebody who has really is looking like they have gone through some things and may need some counseling or maybe some therapy. That's the way it's appearing, due to the very bizarre behavior and different things that's going on with the situation. And especially after her saying on the last interview that Kay, put the paws on her with a shoe. Those are all descriptions of traumatic situations that you might have to go talk to somebody about, okay? Because that's serious, okay? Now, we all knew that she wasn't necessarily telling the truth on Gayle. I think a lot of us, we could come to the consensus that we kind of felt like she was cap on that CBS This Morning interview with all the crying and the manipulation that she was doing, because that's what I thought it was on that particular interview. But it goes on to say, we got the longtime news personality Saturday Night in Miami and asked about Az recently giving a tell-all interview to The Sun, in which she completely flips on Kay and says she lied to Gayle back in March of 2019 while characterizing their relationship. So it says that Gayle says it's not anything, I guess she tried to say, shocking to learn about her confessing that. And it sounds like she didn't believe her at the time, even though Az was very, the way that she came across, it's like she was very like adamant about, oh, Kay is my man, and what I do in the ... and I ... and these is, she was up there, honey, y'all know, in a very kind of disrespectful type of way, and don't ask me about what I pop. So y'all know how she was up there acting, and basically she kind of denied and downplayed the whole situation with Kay. And so basically there's a video of them kind of, how like TMZ do, like she's in the street coming out of a place and they asking her, and basically Gayle kind of wished that she gets better and wishes her for recovery, and basically the TMZ person kind of says, well, what's the first step to getting help? And Gayle got in that van, honey, it was shady, you know what the first step is, and got in that van. Now she probably ain't want to say what we all been saying, and that's, girl, you done got out of a traumatic situation, and you doing all this celeb press tour and in Fabuloso land, which is kind of on some type of crazy type of time, when you should be discussing how bugged out this situation is and what we could do going forward to prevent this from happening, and reflecting on everything that's going on. If you claiming that all of this trauma happened with this man, like, this should be a thing that should dawn on people to be like, yo, if she's saying that dude took his size 12s and did what he did, would you not be like needing to talk to somebody about that? Like, how did that make you feel? How do you feel about this? Like, what are your feelings? Because it seems like there, and especially what she described on The Sun, because she talked about those twa situations with multiple people, okay, engaging in stuff with multiple people, and that is something in itself that is like, if that's not something that you're into, that could be very traumatizing in itself. So it's kind of like, they said, interestingly, there are no mentions of Joy here, mostly because there's not much to say. As you know, she still seems to be in, Kay's corner these days. So they have another article which was posted today, and it says that Kay's ex-girlfriend Az working with the FEDs trying to take back her life. Now, I don't think that this should be an article that's published, especially if she's running through the streets, okay, or she's out walking about, because in the hood what they call somebody that is talking to the FEDs. Y'all know how hard they went in on Tekashi 6ix9ine for being a snitch and all of that. That's what they call it. That's not me calling it that, because personally I believe if the man was doing stuff, he should be put on beam for that. I'm into people coming out of the marvelous, out of darkness into the marvelous light. That's just what I'm about. I'm into that. But according to the street code, it's kind of crazy that Angelo was giving TK so much flack about her being called, like saying that she was informing and stuff like that. And then now the high, publicity of, oh, she's working with the FEDs. And I was kind of concerned because we seen her, she has been posting pictures, living her life, posting pictures or whatever. And in some of these pictures, she was like late night shenanigans. And it didn't look like she was in no posh Beverly Hills type of area where it's kind of secure. It looked like, the streets on the background was mad dirty, cracks in the cement and all that. It was looking like she was in an urban area that was hood, okay? So that's a little concerning because this dude has a lot of bugged out supporters, different places. Everybody's mind is not wrapped too tight, or some people, they really, ride for this dude and they really believe that he is, innocent and not, hasn't done anything. And it's just, to be walking the street and then you got these publications out here saying that you working with the FEDs, what they gonna call that in the street? Y'all know what they call that in the street. And y'all know that it's bugged out people in the street. This man got bugged out supporters. So, Yahweh, her name is, Yahweh is her help. So we asking that you help her in this situation and that you dispatch angels to encamp around this girl, because the situation, according to this article, look like it's getting real, okay? Especially if that's publicized. If you got dudes and people going in on 6ix9ine for stuff like this, that it's people that feel a certain way about people talking to La Policia and the FEDs, okay? Like, people just, I don't agree with the whole situation with that, because I feel like if somebody is doing something wrong, it should be talked about, but it's ignorance out there. Now, anyway, it says that Az has fully removed herself from Kay's corner. She's now cooperating with, it says, them looking into Kay's FED situation, or his, everything that's going on with that in New York, according to sources with direct knowledge. And it says that they've learned that Kay has provided info about her experiences with the singer. And this time around, we're told she's not playing the role of supportive girlfriend. And it says that they broke the story that Az was considering flipping on Kay after cutting ties with him and following, that whole condo cat fight situation with Joy while she was moving her stuff out of his condo. And it says, however, Az was afraid because they're claiming that she felt like she lied to the FED people several times in the past to cover for Kay. But I don't think that they would be surprised by that, the same way that Gayle is not surprised by that. Hopefully, you feel what I'm saying, that she doesn't get entangled in all of this, especially because she's been very talkative, and we live in a place where everything you do or say can and will be, honey, used against you. So hopefully they have some expert people that could determine that. It just seemed like the way this girl flip-flops, Gucci flip-flops her story, that they could see that it's kind of some, unstableness in her story and different in aspects of things. Like, so hopefully they take that into consideration, because, one day is, don't act like I wasn't talking to you, and then it flips to, I wasn't able to talk to my parents and all this other stuff. One day is, I'm not like those type of girls, and I was fortunate enough to not have to deal with that. But then it turns to, I know where all the skeletons and all this other stuff, I know everything type of stuff. So it's like, you don't want to talk like you got too much, like you know too much, because if you know too much, that's not good either. You feel me? Like, people like to broadcast a lot of times that they know a lot, but that's not necessarily good to know a lot. You feel what I'm saying? Because you'll be so smart, but be too smart for your own good that, people, God forbid, since you know a lot and they want to keep certain, information under wraps, they'll deal with that situation, God forbid. So I'm not a person that's for all of that broadcasting stuff. You got to use wisdom. And, this publication is definitely, to me, that to me, it's raising some concern, because the girl is walking, around in the streets. You feel me? So let me see what else they're saying, y'all. So it says they're told that Az is no longer fearful of speaking on K and cooperating with the FEDs, because she's finally fully disconnected from him and his team and wants to take control of her life. And basically it says there have been repercussions for her decisions, their sources says, because she has received, y'all know, she has been the target, it says, of online people bothering her online, and she's been receiving, stuff. Her and her family have been receiving, messages from people that's acting like they about that life. So this is what I'm talking about. You feel me? I knew that this was gonna happen. I mean, due to just how K's supporters and different people, like I said, and then too, this is not adding help to the situation with them putting this in this article, because if people are already doing that, then that's further just agitating the situation. Now, what else are they saying? So they're told that the people versus K are monitoring these people that's sending them, messages that's coming at them, along with those of the other, they're saying the other supposed K, Vicks or whatever. But it says that Az is not letting it intimidate her. And it says, as they reported, Az has now moved back with her family, and their sources say she's focused on trying to help other women who've been in a similar situation. But my thing is, I don't understand how you could help. You can't help other women until you help yourself, okay? You cannot advocate for people until you help yourself. That's why, the Most High tells you that you got to get the mote out thine own eye, and you got to get your own house in order before you could go out thinking that you're gonna save the world. You feel what I'm saying? And she has to get herself right first. You feel me? Like, 1 minute you busting out in tears, the next minute, you saying, don't act like I didn't talk to you, and I talked to you, and then the next minute you're talking about, when I couldn't talk to my family. So it's clearly some stuff going on. It's clearly just a lot going on with this situation, to where, if that's not handled, where, the governance, I would say, of the mental area is not addressed, then, you feel what I'm saying, a lot of this could be looking wild. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, how are you going to advocate and you're not advocating for yourself? You feel what I'm saying? So, this is bugged out. So anyway, it says helping the FEDs in their, this whole situation against him is just the first step. So K's counsel, Steven, told TMZ he's not surprised by this development. He says, it's not news to me. I've suspected it all along. Honey, I know these K supporters gonna be like, see, look, I told y'all it was a set up. She was that. She was messing with this the whole time. She was telling the whole time. That's why she was doing this, honey. They gonna have a field day with this. And this is adding further, like I said, him saying this is only adding further agitation to the situation. But he says, I've suspected it all along, but you can't get in the way of love, Rob's love for her. So this is sounding again similar to what Don R said, where he told Kay to get rid of these people and send them packing on their way because it could be potential problems. It's seeming like Steven knew the same situation, because it's like, okay, you could love a person, but just think about this, right? He was doing all this trust the process and all this other stuff. If he would have sent these people packing a long time ago, it would have been less probably uproar about this whole situation, and people would have just had to go about their business. And these same people would not be being used, against him. You feel what I'm saying? They wouldn't have been around. They just would have went on their way or whatever. Even if they did want to, say different stuff, he still would have been able to better prepare, and it wouldn't have been so, like, just think about this. When Joy, because if you think about it, TS and them, they were the ones that had them helicopters, honey, outside of that Johns Creek residence. So just think, if he would have sent Joy back way earlier and just got rid of Joy and sent her back, would all of this have transpired the way that it went? You feel what I'm saying? Would they have been doing all these stunts? It wouldn't have been none of this, because he probably would have been able to be out, just think about it, handling his business and getting this together. You get what I'm saying? Or, coming up with a whole defense for himself, right? So because he didn't do that and was telling people trust the process, now he's trusting the process. You got to eat of your words now. That's why they say, honey, you have to be very careful to mind your mouth, honey, because you say the wrong thing, or you deal with a person maybe treacherously, and you don't know who that person is to the Most High, or what family seed line that person is from, and you it's gonna be consequences. And because he was stubborn and didn't want to listen to wise counsel, like his friend, he didn't want to listen to his counsel, he got seized. He's in this situation. I mean, a bad situation became worse because he just couldn't let go. He couldn't use, his common sense to just be like, First of all, according to the story that Dawn was saying, Joy and Az's people was trying to get into business type of things with him, and at that point it would have been like, your people trying to come up with all these business strategies and stuff. I'm gonna have to get rid of these folks, because I got to stay away from the appearance of evil, and I already was jammed up in 2008. You feel what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna get myself involved with no mess like that. That's what it should have been, his mindset. No, he wanted to chance it and tell people trust the process. And this is what's happening with this whole situation, y'all. What are y'all's thoughts about this? It's KingBritneyChanel. You already know. Bringing the honey for the tea. The honey is Yahweh's promises and his truth in life's bitter tea, which is the situations that you deal with in life. So I hope that y'all enjoyed, this message. And just realize, some of y'all that, y'all be like, oh, I don't understand or whatever. Then everybody, you have to also understand, everybody is not my assignment, okay? Some folks is going to get it. Some folks may need another teacher. They may need another person to listen to, or they may need another channel to watch. And that's just the way that is, darling. This may not be the channel for you. But for those of y'all that want to, enjoy this journey of, us learning about different stuff, talking about current events and putting a spiritual aspect on things, y'all definitely make sure that y'all click that notification bell, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share. I'm out. Blessings. See y'all soon. Hey honeys, thank you for watching my video, and if you haven't, definitely make sure you check out my Teespring, KingBritneyChanel Couture, where you can find my latest merch. I upload a lot of new designs frequently, so definitely make sure you check it out. We have mugs, we have wall tapestries, canvas art, pillows, fleece blankets, apparel, and so much more. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all on my next video.